Okay, so hello everybody, how my name is William. Okay, and now today, well, I'm gonna talk about California's excavation bill again because, well, because we have something else to learn about California's excavation bill. Now, one guy on YouTube told me about protesting the bill. Well, I'll talk about that next. Maybe I'll talk about that next video. But a good idea. Maybe I'll talk about that next video. But right now, I want to talk about something else. Okay. So, because someone told me about this, and I want to get to something here, alright? First of all, because there's guys telling me not to show my, not to give Google or YouTube your info, but I'm gonna have to tell them about this. Look, you can dislike this video all you want, okay? Go ahead, dislike the video. Okay, I don't care. Dislike it. I don't care what you do. Just dislike it if you have to. Or just don't watch this video. I don't care. I don't care what you do. Okay? You're free to do whatever you want. Now look. Okay, look, I don't want to do this Verfication stuff at all. Okay? I hate it. Okay? But that does not mean, look, if I have to do Verfication on these sites, then I'm not going to do it, even though I don't like it. You know, I hate Verfication, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. Okay, there's a lot of things I do I don't like. You know, there's a lot of things I do I don't like. I don't like shopping, but guess what? I do it anyway. Because I have to. That's why. There's times I have to work outside, even though I don't like it. You know, my family has a garden. In the front yard and the backyard. You know, that's why. And right now I have to wear slippers because, well, back in 2 weeks ago I got a bacteria infection on my foot, and then now I have a corn on my foot, on my toe. So my toe had a bacteria infection. Now I got a corn on my toe. So that's why I'm wearing slippers right now. You know, I'm not barefoot right now, but hopefully I can worry about getting that corn on my toe and I could be barefoot again. But we'll see. Okay. So many people have been flagged. Well, so Google search has Verfication, but I don't know about Microsoft Bing. Well, maybe it does. You can let me know. I don't know if Microsoft Bing has Verfication, but you see. Because I know Google search does, but I don't know about Bing. Okay, yeah, Bing does. Okay. This requires... Yeah, I'm not talking about in Australia. I'm talking about here in the U.S. Here in the U.S. Come on. I'm talking about here. U.S. Okay, yeah. So yes, Bing does have education in the U.S. and globally. Okay, so yes, Bing does. Okay, so Microsoft Bing search does have it too. Okay, that's what I know. If it does, because that's something I want to know. If it's not, it says, oh yeah, so Bing itself is in full age gated like a social media site, but it's a features content access what current age proof of a harmful content, especially for minors. Okay, so it does have it, but it's not as bad as Google. But saying it's not as bad as Google's search engine. So, which we have right here. Maybe I can read an article for you and see. Oh, I want you to log in. Well, why? I'll use my Google account. I don't have an Apple account. That's my email anyway. Here, I'll sign into this account. I don't know why. It wants me to sign in, but fine. Yeah, it says right here, two of the significant changes of Australia's internet for a month. Okay. Yeah, that's for Australia, though. But what about, I want to know about here in the U.S. So yeah, I guess so Microsoft Bing does have Verfication too, not just Google. All right. Well, that's not good either, but oh well. And I have Microsoft. I have an Outlook email. So. Okay, but that's pretty good to know. But I want to talk about something. So. So today I'm going to talk about why California's education bill won't protect children, but first, won't protect oops, I wrote it backwards. Won't protect children. Okay. And then I will and I'm going to do it on Brave Search as well. Brave Search. Because why not Brave Search? Okay. And before I can read about this, let's learn about something, okay? So, okay, now why do I give my ID to Google and YouTube instead of other things? Well, I don't have a credit card, first of all, but do I want to use it if I had a credit card? Well, no, I don't, because credit cards are not good to use to verify your age. Why do people think a credit card might be a good idea to use to verify your age? That's not a good way to use it. That's not a good way to verify your age by using a credit card. That's just stupid anyway. All your credit card does is show your credit score, what you buy and stuff. And credit card is when you're borrowing money from the bank. You know, you're borrowing the bank's money. That's when you're using your credit card. And now, what about the debit card? Well, debit card is when you're using your money from the bank. It is different. And I know you want to use the credit card and not the debit card because you have to be 18 or older to use the credit card. People younger than 18 can use the debit card, and that's the difference. Now, what about selfie? Well, I just show my face on YouTube and Rumble and BitChute. I don't want to take a selfie because I look younger than my age. You know, I'm 31 years old, but I look younger than my age. I probably look like in my 20s, but I'm 30. But look, I'm 31 years. But you know, I'm 31 years old. I was born in 1994. I probably look like in my early 20s, but I'm not. I'm 31 years old. And I was born in 1994. So, I'll be 32 on March. So we need to learn something here. All right? Yes. Okay. So yeah, let me tell you something. So giving Google and YouTube ID just validates that, because I think what they're doing on the credit card and also selfies, you know, the face scans, which is video verification, what they're doing. Well, I think we're doing it to test AI, to test AI on how old you are, based on the credit score, or based on how old, based on how your face looks like. But that's stupid, because nobody can tell your age on your credit card, on your credit score, and nobody can tell your age of just because of your faces. Because many people look younger than their age, and there's some people that look older than their age. You know? So that's why. That's why I brought up using my ID. But if you don't like it, that's fine. Look. Now, guys, now listen. If you don't want to give YouTube and your Google your ID, that's fine. Then don't. Then don't do it. Then if you don't want to give it to them, if you don't want to give them your ID, then that's fine. And don't do it then if you don't want to give it to them. You know, if you want your Google or your YouTube account to stay as a kid, then leave it stay as a kid if you want to. Fine. You're free to do so, you know, but just like I am, but I want to be. But the problem is that they're not leaving us a choice, you know, to have these age-fication stuff. I don't like it at all. I hate this. And now, and let me tell you something. Why are still some people calling me a bot? I'm a human. Why are you calling me a bot? I'm not a bot. I'm a human, first of all. Stupid. And look, I joined YouTube in 2011 when I was 17, and not right now. I'm 31 years old. And I have BitChute, and I also have Rumble. So anyway, please watch my video and stop calling me that, please. Anyway. It's just that people want to do is get mad at me just because I gave my own vote to Google and YouTube. I know, but it's just stupid what they're doing anyway. But do you know what's worse? And plus, age-fication is not the mark of the beast. Getting the mark of the beast is when you worship the Antichrist. You know, and we're not even into the tribulation just yet. We're just having a war against free speech and well, and also and I guess having a war against watch freedom, I guess. So that's reading on Google's first. So I Google why I Google companies won't protect children, and here's what it says. So concerns about California's new age protection bill, Digital Age Assurance Act, may not be effective for children because it solely with self-declares a device that is seasonally a cigarette for minors. The law signed by Governor Newsom in October 2025 and effective to January 1st, 1997, have been drawn in conclusions of all reasons. So ease for circumvention. A child may simply enter a false age, e.g. over 18, when the setting up their device over the system is required a self-declared age legally binding. Yeah, I already talked about that, but we can still talk about this. Yes. Research indicates a percentage of minors already lie about their age online. Yeah, and there's no mandatory ID verification, meaning that unlike conventional laws in other states, the California law does not require to upload government IDs or use photo verification, which critics argue is a major loophole. Yeah. It says reliance on the systems like credit search, national childhood alliance. This argues the bill codifies a 20-year-old system developed in chat rooms that ignore how child use technology initially offering convenience, how technology is a risk of children, and then conflicting age signals. The law is silent on how app developers should handle situations, how Stinger has conflicting age signals across different devices or profiles, which could create compliance confusion. So, despite these criticisms, proponents of the bill, including Bluffly, Wix, and tech companies like Google, Meta, and Snap, argue that this balanced privacy-first approach and the first of the run of age verification app stores and other system providers like Apple and Google, rather than have individual app developers, they believe that creating an age signaling process ecosystem is essentially a step to better protect kids online. Yeah, but sometimes I won't do it. And this article is too long. Well, we can read this part, that's fine. But I do want to read why I won't protect children. Yeah, alright, so that's what it says. The problem is that we all have to do it. It's not just me, okay? So even though we have to only input our birth date to verify age on this bill right here, we only have to do input our birth date. But it's not just me who has to do this. Everybody that lives in California will have to do this in January 2027. So yeah, I'm going to have to do this, and everybody else in California will have to do this too. You know, I don't like this, and I know I hate age verification, but I gotta have if I'm gonna have to do it, then I'll do it. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna like it, you know. Even taxes, sorry. A lot of, well, even though, and look, I know we haven't reached 2026 yet, but we're getting there soon. You know, that's why. This is something you have to learn about. Yeah, I know, first of all, I hear the siren going by. I don't know what that siren is for, but hopefully it's not me. Okay. Anyway. So the California Digital Age Assurance Act, AB 1043, is signed by Governor Gavin Newsom in October 2025. It has criticized failing to protect children online. Minors easily lie about their age and can access adult content and services. The law is self-declared age, doing device legally binding. affecting requiring apps to treat as a child as an adult and is claimed to be over 18. Even though research results that 30% of minors lie about their age online. This patrol detects the burden and protection of companies, protects of children removals, and putting consistent requirements to those and purchases, and does not mandate accurate or visible evidence leaving families without accompanying mechanisms. So AB 2023 asbestos system were self-reported at the device setup, so that determined this treatment by apps, requiring companies to accept it legally without binding verification. The law provides for legal protection to tech companies, shielding them from liability unless there's clear, convincing evidence there's a user is a minor, placing a responsibility of safety on the child. Critics argue that the law codifies a 20-year-old system from a dialing up era, ignoring more usage and having unsupervised teens easily bypass restrictions by changing their device birth date. Unlike the App Store Company Act passed in Utah and Texas, which mandates real age verification and marital affiliation, AB doesn't really lacks enforcement and mechanisms that does not ensure accurate content ratings, making it effective for child protection. The law is a position for privacy and family policy groups who argue that big tech convenience over child safety enables mission to keep toward broader digital surveillance. Yeah, well, I'm talking about California because I live in California. Yeah, I know. Texas and Utah are mandating IDs, which is worse. So, you mean you think I'm glad I live in California and not Texas? Well, because Texas is requiring IDs. Yeah, I know, but you know Texas is cheaper than California. Yeah, I get that. But why did some people in California move to Texas anyway? I'm thinking about that too, yeah. Well, let's read more about this, about California's age verification bill, then I'll talk about why it won't protect children. So let's read this. So Governor Newsom signed this bill to first read in California leadership in protecting children online. So let's read this. This is from Governor Gavin Newsom's website. I'll read this because here, Sacramento, Governor Newsom today. Oh yeah, that's in October. Yeah, okay. Signed this to further strengthen on protecting children online, create safeguards for new emerging technology on artificial such as artificial intelligence, latest in ads, required features, platforms, products such as age verification protocols, address suicide and self-harm warnings. Regarding social media, accompanying chatbots, and stronger penalties for those who profit illegal deep fakes, helping ensure children's safety remains front and center. So emerging technology like chatbots on social media is prior indicated to connect, but without guardrails, technology can also mislead and endanger our kids, even if our seeing some truly hardy and tragic examples of young children harmed by unregulated tech, and we won't stand against companies continue without necessary limits. But we can continue with the AI technology. We must do it responsibility. Protecting our children is every step of the way, but our children's safety is not. But our children's safety is not for sale. Governor Gavin Newsom. Everything that we do begins with our children, our safety, and our health, and being cognizant of disease and information. But true leadership always means limits when it matters most, because our kids deserve a world while use more than technology around them. These bills, some as guardians, to protect children's health and safety while ensuring innovation moves forward with responsibility, and showing we can have both at once with future generations in mind. So first partner is Jennifer Cyan Bill Newsom. It might be is that Galvanism's wife? I don't know. That's my guess. Could be. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that though. But let me know in the comments below if I was wrong about that, because I don't know. California has long stood as a bold leader in protecting children from the danger of emerging technology, dating signings of all other landmarks industry in protecting children, social media addiction, strong privacy requirements, and nation-leading transmission measures. These bills will help protect children online from creating. So new safeguards for AI chatbots, by establishing requirements on companion, chatbot, platforms with protocols and identify address, user suicidal ideation or expression of self-harm platforms must also disclose interactions artificial ability generated for and minors must be provided by breaking reminders from viewing, especially images generated by the chatbot. Platforms are required to share protocols and dealing with self-harm statics regarding how they provide it. Criticism notifications to file public health legislation. So here establishes provision against chatbots with saying themselves against healthcare professionals. So right here, what current Verfication operating system absolutely could help prevent children from appropriate dangerous content online. Well, that's pretty vague, first of all. It says what your children and then social media warning labels. That's help warn users, association, to use social media platforms. Well, I don't think children should be on social media at all. I think parents should protect them. But that's just keep reading about this. Let's see. Stronger penalties on deepfake pornography. It's right here. By expanding the cause of action to allow victims, including minors, to seek relief up to $250,000 per action against their third parties without fascinating their age to disuse a non-consensual and then sexual material. Then in guidance to prevent cyberbullying. Well, through require California's Department of Education on before June 1st, 2026 to adopt model policy to address reported acts of cyberbullying to occur outside of school hours, require local education agencies to adopt legislating policy and super policy to develop with local input. So yeah, clear reality of harm of AI technology, preventing those who develop altered artificial intelligence, escaping the ability, asserting those anonymously. The full list signed bills to protect children, seen in the safety technology online platforms include. Yeah. So that's this article. We also got this one right here for Digital Giant Alliance. Looks like the people who own this website is trying to fight back against California's age verification bill, which is great anyway, which means that they don't want this bill to pass. But let's read it. This from September 18, 2025. Let's see what it says. So here, children are exploited to gaming social media apps over the country last month. Already joined a long list of those suing Roblox and Discord and a failure of a measure to protect kids on their apps. In this case, the predator used Roblox, initially contacted the minor, then moved to provide communications disabled, predator later controls, present themselves in threats, and of course the child. His parents have begged on the companies filed lawsuits now, imploring industry to start protecting kids. The responsibility of original contextual gateways all apps. Google and Apple have acquired app descriptions, ratings on age verification, and protocol set up for all apps. Now here's what big tech doing around the United States and abroad right now. This is began to address app changes at kids. Apple and Google and other tech companies to swoop into the legislative process. Where protecting kids it has at first been the goal of pushing a bill that all accountability of the insurers and defense of families so do nothing to protect children. Thus, the full weight of responsibility falls back to parents who don't comply or understand the technology. And already have we're using kids at work, inflation, reduced stresses who like their kids to try to fight their way through the mountain of addictive technology that is preying on all of us. So here's what the CAC new law fails to do. We need the App Store to help the Act. So number one, it says parental contents will occur every time of our minors. That's only free. As attain consent, it can before each time I can download an app. For this app, before purchases, but made the changes for collection monetization. Only requires the age signal. Yeah. And then be generated by setup developers that can signal using download. Okay, when a user downloads, launches an app, there's no build requirement for consent at that point. And gives protection of control over the app downloads and spending. In 2023, developers will act appropriately once they receive a signal. Now, the truth is advice think of description missing AB43. So this will requires age ratings for digital apps. Parents can take legal action in the App Store presenting up apps risk. And then 2023 has a requirement. Now stores putting good standardized app descriptions when knowing disclosures. Yeah. And then reverse patrols of families, Attorney General under, so gives parents harmed provides rights of action, state attorney right to enforce the law, and then only California eternal. Enforce violations, so put up 70,000 parents have direct remedy. Yeah. Well. It's just one video of stores, developers, scrutiny of responsibility of app stores, and verify ages technology we have obtained parental content on the appliance. Developers must use verified age data, but the gatekeepers, Apple and Google, are directly accountable. Now, for the the ships, responsibility of developers. It must require on age signal at the stores shielded but specifying signal in good faith. So this bill would be in California odds, Federal Trade Commission, a top agency protecting kids online, even if the changes legal acknowledged. But in the past term, it would have be company of strong proof was a Trump. Under this bill, this would mean nothing more, whatever age using type themselves. So I don't Apple and Google want to protect kids. Well, it says app stores make billions from app sales and app purchases. That's saying all that data they collect from us and our children and then sell it. Perhaps plus strong parental consent requirements on tighter descriptions. Must slow down app installs, maybe 30 in seconds of purchases, which might cut directly revenue. The more kids fit online, the more data gets collected, and more ads get served. Stronger protections on stopping autoplay, blocking many designs requiring real parental approval will reduce that engagement. So we got that. The child protection on the popular with the public, but so far they shrewdly calculated the limit measures on the California law, reducing the ability of the keep recorders at bay while protecting the revenue stream. They back on laws like that, like just passed in California. Apple and Google can avoid public backlash and appearing cooperative with lawmakers. Apple and Google also have global consistency program and if strict protections are put in place in California, they have faced pressure to roll them out globally, which might cost them. Now, the bottom line, the tech companies care way more about protecting money than protecting our children, even when the implementations are simple. It won't stop them from continuing to be $1 trillion companies. Why this is urgent? Well, parents advocate that push of the years of improvements progress as a slow, uneven, easily reversed, even as long as the companies profit every download. And app purchases can segregate their homework on families and paying their price. If you work app accountability at every state in the nation, we hope you join our fight. Please share this article for an email position of the state and help us protect our children now. Yeah, but the problem is that the California is not going to protect children. You see, here's why. And then the reason why Yeah, California just made it easier for kids to lie their way into adult apps. Yes, because the only thing you have to do is to input a birth date to verify age. Yeah, just our birth date. No IDs, no credit cards, no selfies, just our birth date. And this is how. And this is how we're going to do this. But this is, and I know, and this is not until this is not until 2027. I know we haven't reached 2026 yet, but don't worry, that's next year. So, but I'm talking about this now, so we can talk about it. Hopefully, we can fight against this. I don't know, but nobody else is talking about it. So I know, but this website is fighting back against this, which is great anyway. But still. So let's read about this. So right here. This is from November 17, 2025. Right here it says, imagine a world where children can stroll into a liquor store, strip club, and cannibals display and make purchases by tapping into a checkbox on the screen that says, I'm old enough to be there, no ID, no questions. Not even a bouncer can look them in the eye and say, hold it right there, kid. In the real world, that would be observed. This would be quite as cool online for decades. Rather than fix the problem, a new California law has been enshrined in the state of the statute. The Additional Age Assurance Act, AB 1043, signed by Governor Gavin Newsom, October 13th, 2025, was hailed by the governors effectively over children's safety on the model. Now, modern technology is not even to have declared. Our child safety is not for sale. But that might be true, but because California is giving it away for free. Yeah. There's a reason big tech companies, including OpenAI, and Google, Meta, and Snapchat, and Reddit, and Roblox have lined up for taking ban on child safety registration and registration in 2025. That's them off the hook of any harm, the problems of the cost of minors, while putting the entire burden on digital protection on parents and children. IB 2025. This bill sponsor of already set of hopes of become de facto national standard concept act of 2025. If this happens, it won't be a win for families. So why the new California law won't protect kids? Under AB 2043, a user's declare age on their device and their sold of the dream as an adult. If the app wants to restrict minors from pornography, sexually exciting chatbots, dating platforms, or harvest dating apps, a child can simply claim the device, except as they are over 18, and then the app was required to treat them as an adult. The single self-declared change is treating them as legally binding. The secretaries insist the powerless intervene, and exactly how they like it. Research shows about 30% of minors lie about their age online, off come.org 2024, rather than monolizing safety standards. AB 2023 quantifies a 20-year-old system designed to dial up chat rooms. It predates today's app economy, ignores everything we know about children actually use technology, and the installed convenience for big tech and risk for kids. So unsupervised kids over 13, roughly half of all teens, the loophole becomes just easy exploit. Pete, 2025, once they realize the content they cannot access They can simply open their devices settings, change their birth date, and instantly become adults. In some cases, the device may even prompt their children to claim that they are an adult. Busby gives companies broader legal cover over the liners as an adult, less than clear convincing evidence. Otherwise, effectively allowing child self-declared age count as legally binding. So, yeah, AB 2023. By treating as a state age actual knowledge of the law, it expands on the already weak and federal standard, which requires action when companies no users under 13. As a result, a child lies about their age and is harmed, and legally falls the soul on the child, and company bears no accountability. Even worse, so AB 2003 doesn't just fail to verify age, it effectively removes parents on the equation entirely. The law doesn't even require informed parental consent for downloads and in-app purchases. It allows children to install apps to track their location and connect them with strangers, or access with a camera and microphone without parents' knowledge. It's worth remembering the child can't legally enter binding contracts, yet this allows them to agree on app terms services that few layers fully understand. A final critical weakness lies on the law handles. So rather than it fails to handle app ratings, AB 2023 does nothing on ensure that ratings on safety disclosures are accurate and easily visible to parents. Developers are clear that self-rate their apps. Many downplay mature content, but even adults struggle to tell which apps include sexual material, gambling, or predatory chat features. This law, the law makes sweeping promises that can be, but it provides no mechanism to avoid these claims, penalize deception. In other words, AB 2023 goes to great lengths to shield companies' liability, and if they say they are trying, under the more window dressing. So, at least families without any means of holding companies accountable when our first identity fail. So we need App Store accountability now. When you trust California's hands off with the App Store Accountability Act passed in Utah and Texas, differs a night and day. The ASAA requires full age verification and parental eviction minors visible account ratings, but that is a teeth, and you can tell because big tech hates it. Google lobbies Utah's governor to fight for it. Apple's Tim Cook personally, and Texas Governor Abbott requesting a veto. Apparently expecting billion-dollar companies to be same verification standard. Quarter liquor and a title company or bank is too much to ask. Yet it's exactly standard parents and vetoes want. So the Vertalk Innovation and Trust, California's tech giants no longer just influence policy. They write it. The law doesn't protect children. It only protects these companies' power. Time to take action. And if you want to have sort of company of Victoria State, we are here to make it happen. Join us. All right. So, well, because age verification is not going to stop children, from lying about their birth date or age. It's the parents that should stop doing this, to stop children from doing that. Okay? And to me, what I think about California's age verification bill is, I think it's all about control. And it's not really controlling us, but it's really controlling these companies. And here's why it's controlling these companies. Because what they're doing is, well, the fines. Remember? They're controlling these companies. I'll show you. You see these fines right here? $2,005 per child, and then fines up to $700 child if handling out each Nintendo violation. Well, that. And this one would take me too long to me to read, but you know. But the problem is that these fines, so they're not trying to. I think they're doing is, and I want to get this out, but more lurking, I think, are more likely controlling these companies. Now, are they controlling us? Well, yes, but they want to control us. But they're trying to do is they're controlling these companies of how they treat us, as how they treat children and adults, and that's not good. You know, I don't know why. It's just the government. I don't know, but the government is doing people are just hitting the people's businesses where they don't belong, and that's not good. You see, this is not good. So really, do I really like California's education bill? Well, no, I don't at all. But you know, yes, I know that Texas and Utah are worse because they're doing IDs, and I don't. Well. I'll tell you which ways you can protect children. And look, if you're on Google, the only way to avoid gaining flags of minor on Google is to stop searching for kids stuff. Stop searching what kids will search for. That's the answer right there. Stop searching for math, stop searching for whatever, and maybe you should use Brave Search for searching for kids stuff instead of Google. And Brave won't flag you, and here's why: because Brave will protect your privacy. Google does not. So maybe if you want to search for kid things, do it on Brave. Do it on Brave Search. That's just my guess. I like Brave Search. Anyway. If you want to look for best kid websites, I'll show you. Maybe I'll show you the top 10. But you already got YouTube Kids. So you got Kids World Fun, National Geographic Kids, Cool Math for Kids, Fun Brain, PBSKids.org, and you got NASA Kids Club, you got Starfall, ABC Mouse, they call that Early Learning Academy, and Scratch by Mint, and then you got Wonderpolis. You see, there's a lot of good kids websites to go to, and yes, you can also learn on YouTube as well. But you know, and yeah, if you want to get Flags of Minor on YouTube, the best thing you can do is you can also watch it here on FreeTube, which is right here. You might have to install FreeTube anyway, but that's what you can do as well. So, and maybe people are saying that YouTube Kids sucks. Well, I don't know why YouTube won't improve YouTube Kids, but they should. Anyway, and this is something you have to learn about. Anyway, you know, that's why. If you use YouTube Kids, let me know, because, you know, I think children should get on YouTube Kids and not main YouTube. At least to me anyway. You know. Anyway. Alright. So on Rumble. Oh yeah, and please make sure you watch How to Go to Heaven video. On my Rumble, on my channel, and yeah. You know. Oh yeah, and then also someone asked me on YouTube. I'll maybe have to get on there. On my So right, yeah, it's right. Right. So hold on, but I have to pause this and get onto this. Yep. Someone says start protesting it. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna I'm not sure I'm gonna have to do that. But maybe I'll talk about that next video and see how can we protest against this bill, because that's a good question here.
Okay, I was doing.
Sorry about that. I have to keep pausing this every time I get on YouTube because automatically plays on that, even on Brave. Good thing Rumble does not do that. If I click on a video on Rumble, it does not automatically play. I have to click on it, and then it plays. See, so that is the difference between that.
Okay, I was doing.
So right here it says, 6, but on Rumble, it's 12. Wow! So look at that. So Rumble, so look, so yeah, Brave is blocking more shields on Rumble than it's on YouTube. Wow, okay, that's great. You also got more advanced controls right here if you have to, so that's great. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm just going to get off of that. I'm just going to have to get off of YouTube. So, so let me know. I guess my next video will be talking about how to protest against California's verfication bill. I guess I'll talk about that next video. And if you want to go outside and protest, that's fine. I think to me, I probably have to do is I'm going to stay here in this house. But if you want to include me, yeah, you can include me on Rumble, because Rumble does have freedom of speech. And if you don't have a Rumble account, the best thing to do is you can use your Google account to get on Rumble. You know, that's what I did in 2023. I just used my Google account to get on Rumble, and here it is. Yes, you can email me on these emails right here on Proton, Gmail, and Outlook. So, those are my email addresses if you want to email me. And that's my Blogspot website if you want to go there. I haven't used it much, but I might update it. We'll see. Yeah, my Blogspot page. Yeah. Anyway, so let me know if you want to talk about. I guess when California's Verfication bill goes to effect, I'm gonna have to apply to it, and I'm gonna have to input my birth date. Yeah, when this goes to effect in 2027. I know I'm not gonna like it at all, but I'm gonna have no other choice. And this will be in January 2027. So and that's when I have to do it. Yeah. Anyway, well, and I know I'm not gonna like it at all, but sometimes you got to do things I don't like. You know, I know what they're doing to us. It's just, I don't know what they're doing to the U.S. It's just making the U.S. more authoritarian, and also the rest of it. It's not just the U.S. because it's the whole world that's having age verification. Yes, it's the whole world. And why they're banning VPNs, and what does digital ID have to do anything with this? I might have to talk about that too, maybe some other time. You can let me know. And then digital money as well, but yeah, I want to talk about that some other time too, but you can let me know. Well, I'll talk about how we can protest against this next video. Okay, because I have to go right now. But thank you for watching this video. And yeah, it's coming. Yes, and Christmas is coming pretty soon. So yes, I would say that. So yeah, I would say this. Yeah, Merry Christmas. Oh yeah, and if you speak in Spanish, I would say Feliz Navidad. Also known in Italian as well. Merry Christmas in Italian is spelled in Italian. Oh yeah, and if you do speak Mandarin, I too know how to make Christmas in Mandarin. Shane down Quila. Yes, how to say Merry Christmas in Mandarin. Yes. Well, even though Christmas, even though I know that Chinese people don't really celebrate Christmas, but at least it's good to know Christmas. It's good to know Merry Christmas in their language too. So anyway, I'll talk about protesting against this bill. Yeah, this bill. Next video anyway, because I have to go right now. But thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll say goodbye. Adios. 再见.